jump into a deck tech and play some games, huh? We're gonna play some Frozen Asol this morning. So, Oriensol here got a little bit of a nerf in the last patch. So his round end level up ability says your ally need to have 25 plus total power now instead of 20, which is still like pretty reasonable, I think. Like he provides 10 of the 25 that you need. And he also has the Fury mechanic, so he gets bigger when he kills things. So often you're only going to need like 14 or maybe even 13 total points of power. Still generates a good bit of value when he comes into play. You get to invoke a celestial card that costs 7 or more, and every round start he generates you a random celestial card. So remember, even when Asol's not leveled up, he's still generating you cards every single turn. Leveled Oriensol, still very powerful, same as before. Still creates you a celestial at round start, and your celestials cost 0, which is very, very powerful. Belly, thanks for the 15 months. Cold Puck, thank you for the 21. Hey, congrats on landing a new gig. Morning, Ring Tingy. I'm glad you're enjoying the Runeterra stuff. I am too. Hey, dude, like, thanks for the tip. Now, the rest of this deck is kind of funky compared to some other decks. So we've got a split of champions. I like only 2 Oriensol because he's kind of expensive and you don't really want to draw a lot of him and gum up your hand when you're not ready to play it out. That being said, we've got 2 copies of Braum, a copy of Trundle, and a copy of Anivia here. I'm interested to see how this plays out, see if it feels like we're missing some of that consistency, or if like Trundle feels better than Anivia, or Anivia feels better than Trundle, etc. One thing that I do kind of really like in this build is that Lee Sin got an upgrade with Bastion, and we've got Sunburst here as a decent way to punch through that. Now, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Bastion does still stop Sunburst, right? So this just doesn't happen if they Bastion you. It does. By it does, you mean it does, Bastion does stop Sunburst? It does stop this. Okay, so that's good to know. So Bastion got a little bit of an upgrade in the latest patch where it gives +1 now as well, in addition to Spell Shield. Oh, this is grant an ally +1/+1. Wow, that's like really good. I saw some people talking about this card, and I was like, oh, well, 1/1 till end of turn's not a big deal. I missed the grant keyword, which for those new to Runeterra, grant means that it gets that modifier permanently. So, yeah, that seems really, really good. So, we've got a couple of Hush in here as well. One thing I will like to wonder is Hush better than Frostbite potentially in this archetype? So this creates a fleeting Hush that costs 1 more in your hand now. This got a little bit of a nerf in the last patch, but I wonder if being able to fully wipe the power off of things is potentially better than this, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and play some games with this and see how it goes. What did I call this? Frozen Asol, I think it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, like, I saw, one of the things the Runeterra team is great at is just, like, incredible communication with their player base, and one of their live design folks mentioned that, like, if they overshot on Bastion, they're going to be watching it, and they'll adjust accordingly, and in general, my experience with Riot and balancing the game over the last 3 months, I kind of trust them to, like, make good decisions there so far. They've shown that they're pretty proactive in managing things that need to be managed. Yeah, Ruben. Thanks, Space 4. I've often said people don't quit Magic, they just take breaks, and I definitely need... No, there's not going to be an open this weekend. I am, for the foreseeable future, those are done. I'm taking October off of Magic. Just, the more introspection and reflection I do, Magic's made me... Like, there's a lot of things to be unhappy about in the world right now, and playing a game that I'm supposed to be playing for fun being a thing that's making me unhappy really seems stupid, so I'm I'm going to take the month of October off for making magic content. We're going to do Runeterra every morning. Because Runeterra is great. No reason to attack my 1-1 into their 3-3 here. If they attack with this, so they're playing Twisted Fate Gangplank. Gangplank levels when they've damaged the enemy nexus 5 different times. So I'm going to go ahead and chump with this here to deny them the Gangplank trigger for the turn.
Didn't know what she said for you. Don't know much, do you? Patience.
That's pretty good. So the powder keg here lets us deal an extra damage. So normally that's not enough to kill this, but it is with that.
Time to get rich.
Going to 12 here. I definitely think Pirate Aggro is one of the best things you can be doing on the ladder right now. It's possible. I think this list is only playing a couple of star shapings. There's only 2 star shapings. It's very possible that star shaping's a card we want more of. Gaining 5 tends to be pretty good. I think I'm just playing Babbling here. Hey, that's a Yeti. Sounds good. We have to play Trundle out next turn. Yeah, it just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the designs of their cards or just like maybe the gathering was the more important part of it ad main, but Magic just has not felt like Magic in the last little bit to me. And it used to be that like I remember very frequently saying like, you know, even if Wizards makes a bunch of boneheaded decisions, like it doesn't matter because Magic's still Magic and it's one of the best games I've ever played. And I just feel like that just isn't the case for me anymore. And like when the actual core gameplay isn't good like it used to be, it's hard to look past everything else. So I have a decision here. So they're going pretty wide. I can either play the Trundle as just a big chunky boy, or I could like Solari Priestess plus 2 1-drops. I think I want a Solari Priestess plus 2 1-drops here. See what they do. Meteor Shower sounds pretty good. Especially with the Omen Hawk in hand here as another 1-1.
Keep up.
That's elusive.
I told you.
For me, yeah, it's a good high roll. From a visual perspective, Runeterra is easily the most visual appealing card game I've ever played. They do a really, really excellent job of the animations and stuff. The colors are very bright and animated.
Clear off.
I'm gonna let them trade a 2-2 for this if they want. They're just bouncing off of here. Maybe they have another deal 2 in their hand. This Dorko is elusive. That's what the little misty stuff on him means. Which means it can only be blocked by other elusive stuff.
Your king has returned.
Level Gangplank here is super scary. This is pretty punishing for my play earlier. I should have, maybe I should have gotten the Meteor Shower, or not the Meteor Shower, the Comet off of this to be able to kill this. I think this just kills us, right? So when this attacks, it's going to deal 2 to all of our stuff because of Powder Keg. Yeah, that was his level up animation. So my opponent played their champion out and they'd met the requirement to level him up, and level Gangplank's real good. This is why they blocked this with a 2-2 so they could set up to kill my stuff this turn. Pretty good sequencing on their part. Yeah, I think we're just in here. Go to the next one. The entry fees from people who had pre-registered for Hoot should be automatically refunded, everyone. Melee said it can take 3 to 10 days depending on how quick your bank or credit card is to have things reappear on your statement, but those should all be refunded already if you had signed up for the open this weekend already. That is no longer happening. Gargoyle Potato Bot, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Mono Anivia A, so probably something that wants to reanimate a bunch of Anivias. This will be a matchup where Hush and the Sunburst card are pretty good. I think I'm going to mulligan this Spacey Sketcher. I don't really have anything that I want to discard to start with this. I have a good 2, 3, 4 curve here, so I'll just bank Spell Mana on one. Yeah, and there's Sunburst. So Anivia, the reason why our silence effects are good here, Anivia leaves an egg behind when she dies, but if she's silenced when she dies, she doesn't have this last breath trigger. So Sunburst is a good way to permanently get rid of the bird. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
So I think I want to just start by opening on attacks here. They're pretty likely to play something out for 3. Although, I guess if they block this profitably, that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to play the Trapper, actually. Whatever they play probably doesn't block this. Yeah, that's fine. Hey, good games, Phoenix. Thanks for the biddies. Good luck in the rest of your ladder matches today. Drawing the Yeti is real good. So when this card comes into play, it summons a 1-mana 5/5 in the top 3 cards of our deck. And getting it immediately on top is pretty decent. So I could play this out with the Daybreak to invoke a Celestial card, but I think I want to just set up for a big attack next turn. So if we go Enraged Yeti and Trapper here, we'll have an open attacks for 13 next turn, which is great. Morning Impala. Pretty sure I just want to open still, even with the other 1-mana 5/5 drawn here. So remember, my things can attack the turn I play them, but if I play a unit out in an attempt to attack with it, my opponent gets a chance to deploy blockers. So even though I could attack with this 5/5 here, my opponent on 7 mana now could deploy meaningful blockers that are bigger than my stuff, or they could play something like an Ice Quake to try and sweep the board. Most of the sweepers in this game are slow, so you can't play them inside of combat. So if you start by attacking, it's a good way to play around them. Zippity Zapper the Bapper, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I appreciate the prime. We have an all-in vote emote on Twitch. That's great. That's fantastic. All in to vote. Love it. Ewok the Slayer coming in hot for the 24th month. Welcome back. Good morning. That looks like it's just a general Twitch emote. Yeah, Twitch Global emotes. Good on you, Twitch. I enjoy that encouraging everyone to vote is technically a non-partisan thing, but by telling people to vote, you can kind of know who they're telling you to vote for. You can kind of tell where they stand. None of these look super exciting. I think I might just take the Traveler here to try and generate more card advantage down the line. Entreat. So this is why my opponent's only playing a single champion. I'm gonna go ahead and just bank Spell Mana here, I think. Thorn, thanks for the quarter V. I'm glad you're enjoying the Runeterra stuff. Thanks for the support. We're gonna do a bunch of Runeterra stuff in October.
You weren't always this way.
Pretty good. So like I said, their deck is basically set up to try and play a bunch of Anivias here. So they played this, which kills an ally and resummons it. So this egg, when they eventually get to 10, will become another Anivia. I'm going to go ahead and try and kill this one. Rip 3 pirate cards. The pirate cards still seem real good. I think pirate aggro is definitely one of the archetypes to beat in this format at the moment. So I think we're gonna play the Enraged Yeti, and then on our next turn we'll open on attacks. They are at 7. Opponent notably not playing Targon, so we don't have to worry about any of the big life gain cards. Opponent is 2 turns off of Enlightened doing the egg. So on their next turn, if this egg still exists, they will get Anivia back out of it. Start by attacking here and see what happens. They obviously have 12 mana and a bunch of cards in hand, so while they can't deploy blockers, they can play things like Vile Feast and Vengeance and stuff like that. So Vile Feast is enough to survive here, right? They killed this, they go up to 8, and then they take 7 down to 1. Stomp and love the bomb. Stop and love the bomb. Thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. They have a Vengeance here. This block here would imply that they have a way to kill this or Frostbite or something. We could see like a Harsh Winds, perhaps. Yeah, the Jack nerf is not one that surprised me. The stat line on that card is still really good for what it is. That's a pretty good one. So this deals 1 to everything, and then they also gain 3. And again, if you're ever wondering how combat's going to resolve, you can mouse over here to see what's going to happen. Similar to how it was in Hearthstone, just positioning and ordering on the board member. It does quite frequently. So on this board, it didn't really, but combat resolves left to right in Runeterra. So the stack resolves first, and then combat goes left to right. So for example, if your opponent has something with lifesteal down here on the right, and they die here on the left, they'll die before they get to lifesteal. Is an important distinction. Okay, so my opponent's egg's gone at least, so that's nice. Wonder if they have another Anivia here. They have Rekindler, which resummons Anivia. Yep. So, Anivia here, the leveled up mode deals 2 to everything when it attacks, so it's going to kill a lot of my board here, unfortunately. I have 9 mana total. I hope your recovery is swift, Fat Butter. Hopefully you are one of the cases that ends up not being a big deal. I'm 1 mana short of Invoke, Obliterate, and play it, right? I think Invoking is still the play. But we're definitely short on that. I think I'm gonna take Moonsilver here, actually. Because, with Babbling Berg in hand, I'm going up to 8 mana on their turn. I'll be up to 9 mana on my next turn. And if Babbling Berg draws Oriensol, or I could draw it naturally, we'll be able to get this down next turn, which is nice. So this attack trigger is going to kill all of my things with 2 life or less, which is a little annoying. So all of these are dying. And again, if you're ever wondering what's going to happen, you can mouse over and see that those things are dying. So these things are also just free blocks against things that don't have Overwhelm. So I get to block here and only take 2 inside of this combat, which seems fine for us.
They walked around. Will no one listen?
I'm not sure how I feel about Daylight Spear in this deck. We don't have that many Daybreak cards, and like we're not frequently playing multiple Daybreak cards in a turn. So I feel like this might be a kind of awkward include. You're playing it safe by not trying to kill the Anivia with Avalanche. Yeah, I'd like to try and set up to level Oriensol next turn. The Crescent Strike actually seems pretty reasonable. super unfortunate.
Wrapped in cold silence. Return anew.
I think it's objectively harder to feel involved in larger, busier chats. I don't think that's really a hot take. I think that's just the objective case.
My constellation.
So mechanic the same as Discover and Hearthstone. So it's similar to the Discover mechanic with the caveat that the celestial cards that you're invoking from aren't cards you can actually put in your deck. So there's only, I think it's 21 different cards you can invoke. Yes, bud. We're gonna win? I don't think so. Maybe. This is not a scoreboard over here. Living Legends is pretty good. We're gonna grab that one here.
The heavens diminish without my attention.
Yeah, with the celestial cards, there's a very defined range of what you're invoking from, especially with cards like this, for example. So it invokes a card that costs 7 or more, so you can know I'm approximately getting something powerful, even if you don't know exactly what it is. And in a lot of ways, invoking cards is less random than people just drawing cards out of their deck. So, this has Spell Shield on it, which means that it stops the first effect on it, but they had 2 pieces of removal there to poke through the Spell Shield, which is a little unfortunate. Oh my gosh, I could stun and swing. Alright, we'll do it in a minute. It'll be fine.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. I was so focused on Oriensol happening and thinking like, okay, this is my route I need to have happen for victory, that it just like okay, we could actually just kill them here. It was just like not something I was paying attention to. This has Spell Shield and Overwhelm. That could easily be lethal.
Self-sculptured.
We have an elusive Trickster here as well. So next turn I have 10 mana, so probably play Trickster and then play Destroyer. Do I want to block these? I feel like the answer is no. I prefer my opponent does not have a chance to draw extra cards. And my health total is pretty high, so I don't mind just taking 4 here. These draw them a card when they die.
I do love an audience.
So this is elusive, so they need elusive of their own to interact with this. And this is Overwhelm, which means extra damage gets dealt to the Nexus. And then one important distinction in Runeterra versus Magic is that blocking is 1-to-1 in this game. So Overwhelm tends to be more powerful here than Trample is in Magic, because you can't just, Okay, yep, and there's the Ruination to kill the board. But now they have to beat this Destroyer, which has Spell Shield with only 4 resources. This should be lethal. There's a set amount of time between new cards and like there's a Magic. Yes, they do new card injections every 2 months. So, well actually, gosh, are we supposed to get new cards at the end of this month then? It was the end of August that Call of the Mountain released, right? They're not in Hush colors here. And even if they had Hush, I have Spell Shield. Zenity! The variety streams have been a lot of fun. Thank you for the 5 months. I'm going to be doing 3 hours of variety every evening for October. So my plans for the month are to do 3 hours of Runeterra every morning and 3 hours of different variety games every evening. I'm going to try and pick up some new titles as they come out too, like Baldur's Gate 3 is releasing in a week, so I think we're going to pick that up and play through it right when it releases. Or goes into early access. Games don't technically release, right? They go into early access these days. Yeah, I think they're just dead here. Yeah. Alright, got it. Is Daylight Spear really... I am skeptical that Daylight Spear is the best card I could be playing in this slot. Moondreamer's also a little weak. So one question to ask myself is, Babbling Berg here is a card that I love, because if you sculpt your deck in a particular way, Babbling Berg can be a tutor for you. So if we look at our deck and the other champions and cards that we're playing, Orion Sol and Daylight Spear are the only things with 5+ attack. So if I cut these Daylight Spears, Babbling Berg is guaranteed to draw us Orion Sol. So I wonder if there's something different we could play to fill out the center of our curve to make Babbling Berg be Orion Sol consistently. I don't hate Star Shaping. I mentioned I might want another copy of that. Gaining 5 tends to be good against aggro. Broadback Protector. Huh. This card's pretty good against the various aggressive decks in the format, isn't it? Just like good stat line and heals your Nexus back up. I don't hate that. I kind of like Broadback Protector. That could be okay too. Yeah, I don't hate White Flame Protector. Just a good stat line again. Let's try a couple of White Flames and an extra Star Shaping here. I don't know that I'm in love. I'm in love with Moondreamer. Yeah, I feel like I agree. I want to get some more 3-ofs in my deck. So like play more copies of the good cards, basically. I don't really love Entreat with our range of champions that we're playing. I actually don't mind the kind of split of champions. Because some of these cards are better in different spots. So I don't hate that. Honestly, I wonder if should we just be playing some Bastion? This card's like really good with Braum, right? Is this an effect I'm into? I feel like this could be an effect I'm into. We just play another Berg. Do I need 5 Orion Sols? I want to play a couple of Bastions and see how that feels. Especially with Braum. Bastion Braum sounds really good. Misfortune Gangplank. So Avalanche is probably great. I'm going to mulligan Hush in this matchup. Spacey Sketcher making me another cheap thing's probably reasonable, so I think I'm going to keep these other 3. So this is Fearsome, which means it can only be blocked by things with 3+ power. So really no point in playing this out as of yet. We can bank mana across turns up to 3, so I'm probably saving up to just Avalanche on their turn 3. I'm going to go ahead and play Omen Hawk out here, because I'm kind of expecting them to deploy more units this could threaten to block.
I'll shoot the wings off a Bilge Wasp.
Whenever allies attack, deal 1 damage to the enemy nexus. That's pretty good. Would not be surprised to see them start the turn by attacking.
For the Empire.
They didn't start the turn by attacking, so we get to go ahead and create an avalanche here, which is nice. So they get to smack us for 2 here, but that's not really a big deal. We're down to 14 at that point.
Strike at their foundation.
Hopefully, Solari Priestess here can invoke us a way to gain some life. You know, I think I'm actually going to take the Moon Silver here, because Moon Silver means if I take a 6 off of Solari Priestess, I can play it on 5, which is nice. Golden Sister is exactly what I was looking for. So this is a 4/3 with lifesteal that when you summon it, it gives you a 4/3 with elusive as well. And again, this costs 6 here, but the Moon Silver I grabbed last turn is going to let me play it on their 5, which is great.
Paint your feelings.
I think I'm fine trading any of these for this.
You can't do this.
Kind of surprised they took that block, but I think I'm okay with it. We'll see if they start the turn by attacking here. Their deck's aggressive, so they might want to try and get more on the board. However, I'm at 5 resources at this point. I'm going to go ahead and Moon Silver this one. So, Moon Silver is what's called a burst spell. So, generally speaking, the priority in Runeterra passes back and forth whenever anyone plays a card, with the exception being burst spells don't pass priority.
Explosives primed.
Misfortune here, really powerful champion on the opponent's side. Every time any of their allies attack, she deals 1 damage to all battling enemies and the enemy nexus. So this means that if I want to block here with this, these will end up trading, which I think I'm okay with. I don't really want to take a hit here. Bull Smith, thank you for the 12 entire months of support. Let's get you a sword to go for that shield. Thanks for keeping me around.
No further.
So I could trade this here and end up at 16. I could also just block here and do that. I think this is better, and we'll probably just open on attacks for 4 next turn. I think I want to throw this away as a gain 2, though, so this is going to die to the Misfortune trigger, but we'll have blocked this and save us the 2 points of damage at least. That's unfortunate. So, punished a little bit for not blocking there.
Try again.
Let us get going.
Is that a good one to put some Omen Hawks on, chat?
When we're done, I'm taking your head.
Don't make promises you can't keep, little girl. We should be friends.
I think I'm doing this, and then I'm planning to Sunburst to kill this next turn. Yeah, that's true, Blue Man. Getting a Fervor to kill my unit instead of my face is also definitely a bit of a win for us.
It is easy, see?
So we have 9 total resources here. There's another thing pumped off an Omen Hawk. We'll see if they open on attacks this turn or not. We might see them open on attacks, depending on what their hand looks like.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Just the screams of a dying.
Okay. These are going to be a little bit annoying with Misfortune's trigger here, but also not the end of the world because I've got a Braum out.
I rarely forget and never forgive.
That's why we respect you, Captain.
Well, poop.
They're out there. I'll spot them. Break their legs.
Thanks, Robo Snake Ape. Yeah, I'm definitely planning to do some other
Safe with Brom.
variety stuff, puzzle variety stuff. Man, that's brutal. So really want to draw one of those gain 3s next turn. Yeah, love tap with powder is pretty brutal. So is this last card parlay then? And that's why they're attacking this into my Braum? These blocks don't do anything because this will kill this. I think I put this here just so it dies and I draw a card so we can try and draw Star Shaping.
The signal fires.
Okay, Tavern Keeper is also not terrible. Hey, I really appreciate the tier 3, Spartan. If you can, there's a forum on my website. It just takes a couple of click-throughs. If you could just put it through there, the forum just helps me track who's submitted what for what months. So I have nine resources here. I think I start on this.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
None of those were very good. So, I wanted... You have half an hour. That's so exciting. I wanted Braum to take the hit last turn, so that way he could get closer to leveling up. I also wanted to kill their Tutu. There is a shield and a helmet over there.
Wait, I don't know why. Who picked that up?
I think I'm attacking with these. If they want to block with this and put it down to 2 toughness, that seems like a win for us. So what's our best draw next turn? Probably just a Star Shaping still. I'm not dead to opens, right? I take 1 and then 3. Okay, so this does 2, but I have a Golden Sister.
Pirate?
It is the pirate, yep.
I'm with Cat.
So this is dealing 1, this is dealing 1, I'm going to 2, but then I'm life stealing 4 here.
Another deal we want?
Are we still dead? I think we're dead to this overwhelm, right? Because this is gonna go down to 1 toughness, and then I'm gonna gain 4 up to 5, and this is gonna deal 5 on my 1 toughness. Hey buddy, I love you. You should go watch the show for your half hour, please, okay?
Wait.
Yeah, we go to exactly 0 here, right? Really close. Really needed to hit a Star Shaping this game. I think if we would have found a Star Shaping here, we probably would have stabilized very nicely. We've got a lot of card advantage left over. Close set.
Love ya.
I don't know, and like the other part of the thing, Zigzags, is like the only card they have there that kills it is Parlay, and if it's a Parlay, that means they have another Gangplank in hand, right? Because they're generally speaking not playing actual Parlay. All right, there's Star Shapings. I don't think I want to keep 2 in the opener Spacey Sketcher doesn't do a ton. Avalanche in the opener is great here against Pirate Aggro. The fact that we're attacking on odds this time is also beneficial for us.
No one's the wiser. In position.
Yep. Just banking some spell mana here. Feelings on the Bastion buff. I don't really have strong feelings on it offhand. Waiting to see how it works out in practice.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Maybe I'm supposed to attack here and just Bastion to stay alive if they block.
Everything's in place.
This probably means they have another Misfortune, right?
Love ya. Hell of a day.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
Who knows?
Ye started without me.
For the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, my feelings on Lee Sin aren't really related to Bastion though. Like Bastion's separate. I don't view those two things as being two things that are the same. Like Bastion's power level increase is separate from Lee Sin. A lot of my thoughts about Lee Sin aren't even necessarily about power level so much as they are about average play patterns, which I think is something that people don't talk about enough of the time. People, generally speaking, tend to be like, okay, either this thing's too powerful or it's not. When in general, I think, and this is something I think Runeterra does really well, their team, is they consider how it actually feels to play against things. Now, the second Avalanche is really bad against Make It Rain. But I think I'm supposed to take it.
It is easy, see? I promised a bloodbath.
Worth noting there, that recent Jack the Winner nerf in this patch being relevant there. If this had one more point of life there, I wouldn't have been able to attack my Yeti in there profitably. Do I want to burn Sunburst onto here? I feel like I don't. I think this is just a Yeti plus Star Shaping turn.
Let's do this.
I will 100% get that added, Beansy. Those are some chunky monkeys. Think I'm just taking the cheapest one. It's also an elusive, so notably it can block this down the line if we haven't died to that by then. Wonderful. See them put Jack to 1 here. Yeah.
No use trying.
Morning, Kyle.
You wanted wrath.
So, I think with that play, I go ahead and give this 1/1 in Spell Shield here. And we go ahead and attack in and kill this. Seems pretty good. Yeah, Bastion Braum seems real good. lets me make attacks like this and, like, not really worry about him dying, or, like, if he is going to die, he, like, took 2 spells with him. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, this is just a completely different game before the most recent balance patch. I feel like I want a Spacey Sketcher here, but I don't really know what I want to discard. Is it crazy to bin Oriensol? I feel like I want the Sunburst to insulate against a Gangplank, and I'm still pretty far off of Asol, right? Like, I can play the Immortal Fire next turn. I think we're binning this.
One star's whimsy is another spark.
Yeah, and I think even if we do live to get to Asol, we probably don't need him to win the game. Yeah, I think our late game's better than theirs even without that. Can they 5 me this turn? They could theoretically 5 me, huh? They could have Decimate and a deal 3. Or Decimate and a deal 1 even. Slacker!
For trouble.
Thank you for the 28 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so I should be in the clear here now on 5 resources. And we get to have Star Shaping mana up this turn now, which is nice. Morning Innuendo. Today's the best day of October so far.
I need more hands.
Alright, so that's a powder keg. What is the... What is our most likely to win line here? Gangplank's not leveled yet, but Misfortune would level him. I think I'm playing this out because it blocks their elusive.
Like a fish in water.
Is that lethal? It's probably lethal with whatever burn spell I just drew, right? Yeah, because this is, this attack here means that I'm going to 1. So, like, any direct damage kills me now.
Mwah.
Feels like our curve is probably just a little bit too chunky for, like, what's going on in these games. I wonder if the troll... We added White Flame Protector. Yeah, do I want a Tavern Keeper? Someone had recommended Broadback Protector, and I'm kind of into this card. Seems really sweet. What if we try some of this? Because he doesn't hurt himself if your Nexus is at full, right? So if you're at 20, he's just a 2/7. And if you're not at 20, he heals you back up. Let's try that. Pirate Dagger has been super popular. I think I like the idea of that. Anivia seems slow. Braum with Bastion seems really hot. I'm gonna put a third Braum in. Again, just like as we're going, kind of narrowing down what our 1s and 2-ofs are, trying to get more 3-ofs into the archetype. Hazel's like our top-end finisher, Silent. So, like, it's really easy to say, okay, you don't need Oriensol against Pirate aggro, and then, like, cut and make changes to your deck, and then, like, you run into something mid-range, you're like, oh, I wish I had top-end now. Yeah, like, I agree against Pirate aggro, Oriensol is not necessary to win the game. Huh? Ash Thresh, so probably Harrowing Ash. This matchup's probably really bad for us. They're basically a mid-range deck with a combo finish, which means we have to try and apply pressure to them, which we're really not great at doing. I suppose Trapper and Trundle are actually two of our more aggressive cards, so maybe this could be okay. Because there's something mid-rangey, I'm going to ditch a Star Shaping here to get aggressive, like I said. Perfect. Ziggy with the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Now, they are a Shadow Isles deck, so we could get Vile Feasted here. That's also not amazing. I think I'm trading this for this +3 damage, though. Like I said, I think we need to be the beatdown in this matchup, which is a tough role for us to assume, but not impossible. Hey, Coley, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Yeah, my plan for October is to do a few hours of Runeterra every morning and a few hours of variety stuff every evening. And then at the end of October, I'm going to assess where I'm at in terms of metrics and how I'm feeling about things. I don't know. Magic's been making me feel sour lately, so we're gonna take a break from that. Ooh. This is so Spacey Sketcher's a card that's felt underwhelming against aggro, but really kind of showing its value and chops here in these matchups where I'm getting to convert cards that are normally awful in these matchups into things that are useful. Elder Nactyl with the entire year of support. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Welcome back.
On the trade.
Ready the torches.
These are our lands.
So when Ash attacks, she frostbites our strongest thing, which is currently the Otter, so I could trade with this. Gamer Owl, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm just sunbursting this, rather than trundling here. I said Spacey Sketcher often feels underwhelming. And like I said, it's a card that's situationally okay, right? Like, this situation is a good example of when it's fine, whereas, like, the Pirate aggro matchup is a good example of when it's bad.
They walked around.
That is a great draw. Going to war. So again, just looking to apply pressure before my opponent can make it to their combo finish with Harrowing.
A chill in the air.
Read.
Crush 'em.
Yeah, like I said earlier, what's his name? Is one of our trappers, one of our better cards to be aggressive in this matchup because they can get us this cheap 5/5.
Lead the target.
My life for Avarosa.
The time is right. Strike now.
Flash freeze for my 5/5 feels a little bad.
I spilled.
We're going to start with all the new cards now. My definite recommendation, if you're looking to just get a feel for things, is either the Pirate aggro or the Scouts aggro deck, I think are some of the more powerful decks in the format right now. Attack with this to Frostbite here. That seems fine. We'll just take 5 and go to 14. Or 6.
Avarosa, guide me!
Deadly paths, just another day in Targon.
Just another day in Targon. So we'll get to bank 3 spell mana here this turn. And then next turn we'll get to lead on Ice Pillar to level up Trundle. Which will let us give Ash vulnerable.
Trapped in the ice. Nothing a little steel can.
So Babbling Berg there gives us a little bit of information. So generally speaking, the Ash decks, like what my opponent's playing, are constructed so Babbling Berg always draws Ash. So my opponent very likely has Ash's Flash Freeze in their hand right now. It's something we need to think about while we're making plays. Yes, they do also have Crystal Arrow from Ash leveling up, is correct. It's a good one to remember. Do I want to Bastion this? I don't think I do, right? I think that's, like, just fine. It does not. Bastion only stops the effect targeting... Only stops the effect targeting Trundle.
Bow to your king. This is gonna be fun.
So he gains +2 attack permanently when he attacks. I have 2 things that cost 8+. Yeah, I actually really love the design of Spell Shield. It's like a much less feel-bad hexproof coming from Magic, and the fact that it stops global effects on just the unit with Spell Shield gives it a lot more play. Should we have Bastion to kill Ash? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, we know they have another Ash in their hand, right? From the Babbling Berg, so I don't really know. I don't really know that matters. So I'm going up to 9 resources next turn. Do I want to... So Supernova's good. The problem with Supernova is they could kill my Otter in response, but I have Bastion to protect it, so that's probably fine. So this requires me to behold another Celestial card. It was the same. This only has 7 toughness, so it was like healing me or healing it was a wash.
This one's on the house.
The time is right. Strike now.
Don't touch my flock.
Nothing escapes my watch. We burn, then kindle anew.
Obliterate! That's super unfortunate.
Unify the tribes.
We gonna be super dead to a harrowing, chat. Morning window head. I can't not take Living Legends, right? I think we're like legally obligated to take this card.
We each died, then found hope. Smashing! Get ready for a beatdown.
So we're 2 points short of lethal on this attack. But Ori and Sol is going to get to level unless they have another Frostbite, which they could have another Frostbite. We could see a Flash Freeze here happen on Trundle. Yeah.
The time is right. Strike now.
Light the signal fires.
Hey, no problem, Weens. I'm glad you find the site useful. That's so good.
Now they'll
That's so good, chat. Do the deck lists on the website come with recommended emotes? It's a good question. They do not, unfortunately. Morning, Blevins.
Oh, don't get a move on.
Avarosans, stand together.
Excuse me?
You got a problem?
Is that a real attack? Alright, sure. Yeah, deal. I think I just Living Legends here, huh? How do we feel about that? I think I want to just get set up to try and kill them next turn. I mean, even if they have Ruination, I have a ton of stuff with Spell Shield, right?
Sometimes you just need a galaxy destroyed.
Up there in the mountains.
Not Ruination.
Such thing as Yetis.
More courage than brawn, I'm afraid.
Yeah, this is another Ash. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have Spell Shielded this. We're definitely getting Frostbitten here, right? Warping Whale. I think that's fine.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Cosmic Space Dragons, chat. Cosmic Space Dragons. Yeah, I think we're definitely opening on attacks, right? And I think, actually, I think I Bastion this, right? To give it a spell shield, because this is my other Overwhelm. And then I just hope that, like, these two together can get through along with everything else.
This is gonna be fun.
Let's talk about your tech.
So both of these are lethal, and they have spell shield.
The time is right. Strike now.
One smack'll do.
Nice. Sick. So, definitely a little bit fortunate on our part there. Although, I suppose if my opponent had Harrowing, I might have been okay last turn still, huh? Because I had the stun in hand. We had the Crescent Strike. Ooh. Draven Tarek. Is this an Avalanche matchup? I don't know. This is a brew. I'm going to hold Avalanche for now. It might be useful. So the basic idea, Precipic, is that I don't need more than 2 Orion Souls with Babbling Berg. So we're just playing a Trundle as just a good card.
The world awaits.
Because like you just said, Trundle's just good.
To victory.
So I have these deal 2s in my hand. I think I'm going to play Trapper for now and see what they do. Yeah, Braum Bastion. And maybe we should, there's a good chance we should just be playing 3 Bastion.
I have the best job.
Do I want to offer this for this? I think so.
Defend the Empire.
Sweet. I've been playing with Braum Tarek Bastion. It's been pretty sweet. Seems fine.
One foot in front of the other.
That seems real good for the home team.
My journey begins here and ends at the top.
What did you catch?
Confirmed Avalanche matchup, yep. Yep. Usually, Darius implies something more aggressive. His spinning axes require you to discard extra cards, so usually that tends to be pretty aggro.
I'm through waiting.
Yeah, I wanted my Babblings to always draw our Asols, though, Precipic.
Stay the path.
Was my reasoning for building like I did. Hopefully I play out another thing that dies to Avalanche here. I think drawing Mind Splinter could just be better. In certain situations, it could definitely be better.
Are you here to help me?
The journey is yours, but I'll help where I can.
I agree. And actually, so something that I was talking about in the subs Discord was that the Radiant Guardian nerf actually makes Babbling Berg a little bit better in some of those decks. So, like, for example, I hadn't been playing Radiant Guardian in my Lux Ash deck because I always wanted to draw Ash with Babbling. But we can fit Radiant Guardian into that shell now because Babbling Berg no longer draws it. Everyone! It's a big boy. Am I just playing out a 3-3 here? I think I'm just playing out another 3-3, huh? I guess I could play this to try and invoke something useful for next turn. This is just drawing another Orient Sol, which isn't super useful at the moment.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Go time!
Heal the Yeti to kill the Draven. Yeah, maybe. My autopilot definitely had this in my head as only healing allies. This generation makes that pretty okay though, right? I'm gonna get to go shoot.
See the Demacian border from here.
Because I have Babbling in hand to search up another Asol, I really don't need this one, right? So you could probably bin it to Spacey here. Crescent Strike sounds excellent. It's basically a time walk if we need it in a pinch. Opponent has a lot of things to heal and gain toughness, I assume, so there's a chance one or both of these things live.
For beauty.
Oh, they made go to 3-2. I missed that one. So solid up.
Speak, stars. Speak, I say.
Okay, I mean, I assume they're opening on attacks here. They're not opening on attacks. Time walk, baby, time walk, baby, time walk, baby, time walk. Do 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 do. Beep 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 doo.
Will no one listen?
Will no one listen?
No.
Ready the torches. They're coming. Hide.
Hide. Have some gems. Be very quiet. We're hunting Dravens. Very quiet. Yeah, I get it, press a pick, that Splinters is better in the aggro matchup. I don't think anybody reasonable will dispute that. Orient Sol and Splinters are good in different matchups.
Autographs after the fight, kid.
Autographs after. Oh, God.
Have you met my shield? Nothing escapes my watch.
Defense. We have 12 mana here, right? So we can still do this 3 times. 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12, right?
Remember why we fight.
Now we're cooking. Victory is friends we made along the way.
Friends we made along the way. I don't think Draven's gonna be our friend after that game, chat. I think Draven might be on the not friend side of the game board after that set. In addition to taking a bit of a break from Magic, I did the other best thing you can do for your mental health in 2020, which was turn off a social media account. So I also gave the keys to my Twitter to my wife, so I wouldn't be tempted to interact with or scroll that for the next little while. Social media is incredibly toxic, chat. Lux Leona. Probably want Tramper. Think I'm mulliganing the rest of these. I can only assume things are gonna get worse before they get better, especially heading into November. I haven't had a Facebook account in a really long time. Well, that's not strictly true. I haven't had an active Facebook profile. I use Facebook Messenger. Think we're just getting the charger here. Think we're the beatdown here against Lux Leona.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
I think I just want to trap her and try and find my way to a 5-5 ASAP here. This is turn 4, which is the Leona turn. With that draw, I think I'm actually deploying things before I attack, though. That's an interesting thought, Precipic. Generating some gems for Braum definitely sounds pretty reasonable. Goat was like close to playable before I got a second point of toughness.
Unyielding light.
The stories were true.
The stories were true. Truly stunning play here from the opponent. I wasn't 100% I wanted to attack it anyways. Now we definitely don't. Pass and bank some spell mana here.
Our strength is forever at its zenith.
Blessed daylight surrounds you.
With that, I have 8 total mana here. I think we're dropping Solari Priestess and seeing what we get to start. Comet sounds good.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
I think we just open on this. Thanks for the support, T-Hunter. I appreciate that.
Protects me.
I should be okay regardless. I'm in an okay spot. We'll be fine. 2020's been a heck of a year. These are just awful attacks, huh? Just pass here. There's been a lot of pirate aggro where we're at in the ladder here too, although maybe not since you showed up. Our first 2 or 3 matches are mostly pirate aggro.
I am the bulwark against darkness.
So there's Leona. She's gonna stun our 5/5.
The dawn has arrived. With its light, the Solari will unite the heavens. The sun's splendor revealed.
I think I'm just passing for now. So I assume they're gonna attack and we'll trade some stuff off. They could just burn our mana here, but I also don't really have anything too great to do with it. Yeah, I haven't been a huge fan of Spacey either. It's basically okay at fixing wrong half problems, but I agree I've been pretty whelmed by it. It was like fine in one of our matches we played against another control deck, but here it's looking super awkward. Like you can see, I just like don't really have anything I want to discard. Sean Bruno, thanks for the 25 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I guess I'm just like Spaceying a Spacey, which doesn't feel great. I agree with that. Getting closer to Orient Sol is the net positive for us. Oh, wait. I just passed up a reduced cost one, didn't I? That was a whoopsie. I could have Asol next turn. Spacey stock goes up a gem. See, I was thinking I'd like to cut Spacey for the goat, because gems with Braum sound good. Yes, I guess I'm just doing this. With how clunky our spells are, you mean like exactly Orient Sol? Our dex curve overall is actually pretty low, if you look at what we're doing.
Sunlight burns in our weapons.
Well, it's always sunny in Runeterra. I think I'm dead here, right?
Hold still.
Tread carefully.
Oh, you're interesting. I spilled.
Have faith.
Okay. And now remember, my buff for my Celestial card there is permanent. Their buff is till end of turn. So I'm going to get to flesh my board back out here and have okay-ish open attacks next turn into Orient Sol as a follow-up.
They're out there. I'll spot them.
So we're gonna do this, and then we'll start by opening attacks next turn.
Not suffer unbelievers.
They will not escape punishment.
You cannot sway me. Fall, heretic.
Yeah, Spacey was definitely reasonable this game. Yeah, we might be able to stabilize the board with big blockers, for sure.
annihilation.
Yeah, it's definitely just living legends, right? Because we're gonna level this. Here we go! Thank you for the support, Scissor. I really appreciate it. And since I'm gonna have more space in my my stuff as well, my variety segments are gonna be a minimum of 3 hours from now on.
Glorious light rains down.
So now we go hush this, Bastion something, Living Legends. Remember when people were talking crap about my boy Asol? Let's see Dial-Up Dragon do this. Where's your Dial-Up Dragon now? That's what I thought. I don't think Dial-Up Dragon would have been enough this game. Not even close. Bye, friend. Cosmic Space Dragon.
See you next time, Runeterra.
Oh, Orion Soul. Yeah, Asol is king of the top, and I do agree with the assessment that Spacey Sketcher felt like she earned her slots that game. Like, this is definitely part of what allowed us to bridge the gap into the mid to late game. Bird, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I do think that Mountain Goat seems like a card worth considering, and I might try fitting some of these in. I went up to 3 star shapings, but that was before we added Broadback Protector. So maybe we trim some of this tap end here to fit some goats in. Like maybe it's like a Sunburst out, a star shaping out, and fit some mountain goats in down here. Because I do really like the idea. Not only are gems okay with Spacey Sketcher, but they're really, really good with Braum. Any advice to make Runeterra easier to get into? My number one piece of advice is just the hardest part about learning a new card game is learning all of the cards you have to play around and like what to expect out of the other decks. And Runeterra is really rewarding in that way, in that especially because you see your opponent's champions and factions to start, it's a game that really rewards you for knowing what's going on in the format. So my number one recommendation is definitely like just pick up one constructed deck and just hammer it a bunch, learning the ins and outs of the format. Get a feel for all of your cards, and then slowly you start to pick up, okay, what tricks am I playing around? What tricks are in which colors? Which champions and factions tend to lead to, or champions and regions tend to lead to which archetypes, etc. So, I think I actually really like the limited in Runeterra too. Limited tends to be a good way to learn cards, and you get a free expedition every week in your weekly chest, and each expedition token is good for 2 drafts. That can be a good way to learn lots of different cards too, especially when you have a more limited card pool to start. Limited can be a good place to like the limit in this game is phantom, so you don't keep the cards you draft, but it can let you hit a wide range of different cards before you craft them and become interested in them and constructed, which is nice. Alright, so we're going to do 2 Runeterra decks per morning for the foreseeable future. So I am going to hit a quick ad roll so we can disable those pre-rolls while I get this previous one uploading to YouTube. When we get back in just a couple of minutes, where are you? Twisted Fizz. We're going to play some more Twisted Fizz, which is a deck that I've been enjoying a lot. So be back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. Oh, and for folks that want the list we just finished, I'm going to put the last version of this on my Mobilytics for people that want to play with the Frozen Asol deck.